Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com, and welcome to This Week in Prophecy. We have a short version, but the initial part of this is pretty loaded. Topics include Operation Shield and Arrow, Arab League, and Zaporizhzhia. That's what I'm going to go with anyway. Sure somebody with good Russian will correct me. Before we get going into Operation Shield and Arrow, Ephesians 6, verse 16, in all circumstances, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts. That also could be translated arrows of the evil one. And let's jump right in. Operation Shield and Arrow has begun. Israel has initiated this. Take a tweet here from Middle East Eye. Israeli jets killed 3 senior Palestinian Islamic Jihad commanders in the Al-Quds brigades, identified as Jihad Ghanem. He's a general secretary of Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Khalil Batini, he's commander of the Northern Division. And Tarek Ezeldin, he's a military commander. Now, that's one thing I've noticed. We always have senior military advisors. Now, I would think that's not a good career move, the way things move over there in the Middle East, because you got people from within who want the authority. And then if you manage to assert yourself and stick out to Mossad and Israel and the IDF, you're going to be targeted. Israel military kills 15 Palestinians in fresh Gaza attacks. Here's the article for those of you who want to check it out. From Middle East Eye. Airstrikes target Islamic Jihad leaders, leaving 3 commanders killed, along with 4 children, 5 women, and a dentist. If you read a little further, that dentist had a bit of a shady past, if I'm remembering this correctly. Always want to read these things in detail. Get both sides of it. Some of these doctors are not nice people. Some of these dentists, professional folks, may not always be nice people. Just saying. And I suppose that could be said for anybody in any culture. But if you want the details of this, I'll let you read this. I'm not going to go into a lot of this. They did show the photos of the children killed in the Israeli aggression on the Gaza Strip. One of the 3 Israeli raids targeted a residential building. I think that's the building that's probably no more. There's some IDF video of that taking place. But at any rate, if you want to read it, links provided right here. Click on this link. Get you the details from Middle East Eye perspective, the Arab perspective. Now, this is Lieutenant Colonel Richard Hecht. He is the IDF international spokesperson, and he's commenting for our country, Shield and Arrow, a targeted IDF operation against Islamic Jihad. How do we get there? So he goes on to talk about Khalil Batini, fired some rockets during Ramadan, also took advantage. Remember the guy that went on hunger strike, Adnan, and he died. He fired some rockets middle of the day at Cetero. Oz al-Din moving advanced rocket systems from Gaza to Judea and Samaria, attempted to. And this is where the IDF shows some of their targeted munitions. Took every measure possible to precisely pinpoint the targets. Terrorism anywhere is a threat to civilians, and we will respond to any threat on our civilians. And that's pretty much that. And you can hear his speech, which pretty much read the speech. And also at the onset of this, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, the title is pretty much the article. I provided a link at jpost.com, but there's really nothing to it. The headline is the news. Israel is prepared for a multi-front war with Iran. So when they did this, they say, hey, we recognize we could be fighting this on multiple fronts. And it's like, we're prepared to go there. Almost like a little bit of a challenge. It's like, hey, we've thought about this. If you want to go there, we're willing. Security Cabinet convenes. Israel is ready for, quote, all possibilities, moving forward with Operation Shield and Arrow. And this was as of about 8 hours ago. This was released on Twitter by Israel Defense Forces. And at the time, almost 300 rockets. I've seen that number as high as 400 now have been fired from Gaza at Israel. 56 failed to launch and landed in Gaza. So, what, about a sixth of those are landing on their own people. Islamic Jihad simultaneously endangers the lives of both Gazans and Israelis. 60 rockets have been intercepted by Iron Dome. I think that has been like about 95% accuracy from some of the reports I'm reading. And again, the number of rockets fired towards Israel approaching 400, in the neighborhood of 400. Keep up if you want to follow. IDF puts out some updates every now and again. I would expect one again tomorrow, so at some point. And we're going to transition from there. The Arab world continues to reunite. Syria has been invited back into the club, the Arab League. So here we go. And they're kind of paving the way for al-Assad. Assad is expected to attend the Arab League summit in Saudi Arabia, and that's coming up here in about 9 days. So they're very upset with him with the civil war there at first. And remember, half of that population in Syria has been displaced, and they're out of their homes. Lots of destruction. And it's been going on 12 years now that Syria has been in civil war. Now, to listen to them, they've got the terrorists, as they see it, allocated to a little pocket up north. So it would appear getting closer to having some closure on this. Now, they are selling drugs and moving drugs out of Syria. Jordan doesn't care for that. Saw the other day Jordan had taken some military action on some of these drug sites, manufacturing plants, so they say. Syria's membership was suspended from the Arab League in 2011. Here they are back, 2023. And they've had some different folks traveling back and forth to Syria. Saudi foreign minister is gone. Had a visitor from Iran. And that's the thing, too. We got Sunni and Shia and the southern Sunnis and the Saudis. So you got all three of the different folks of different colored turbans, the red checkerboard, or the red houndstooth, the black houndstooth, and then just the plain turbans from Iran, the Shia. You got all these folks of Islam kind of getting together. I think they smell opportunity, specifically with a vacuum of leadership in the West and in the United States. They're coalescing. And you know who they're going to target. They're going to take a look at Israel. They've spoken out against Israel, what's going on with the operation in the Gaza Strip. And this is also a 22-member organization of the Arab League. Here is the website to the Arab League. There you go. Check it out. This is the English version. Well, it's translated to English from Arabic by Google. So, for those of you interested in happenings in the Arab League, here it is. That's about all you have to say. From there, we're going to go to Zechariah 14, verse 12. This is yet future. Now, this is what Zechariah says is going to happen. And this shall be the plague with which the Lord shall strike all the peoples that wage war against Jerusalem. Their flesh will rot while they are still standing on their feet. Their eyes will rot in their sockets, and their tongues will rot in their mouths. I've talked with some military folks, and they tell me that is consistent with the physical response of the human body to a nuclear weapon. Take that for what you want. maybe something else. I don't know. But it seems consistent with how people would handle what the body would do, in the event of a nuclear strike. Which leads us to Russia. And this happened 3 days ago. And I mean, there has been nothing, crickets, since this came out. This came out Sunday, I think. Russia is evacuating about 18 settlements near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. The concern is a, quote, severe nuclear accident. The International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, indicated the situation was, quote, becoming increasingly unpredictable and potentially dangerous. You can click on the BBC article here if you want to read this, but I'm telling you, there has been nothing in the last 3 days. This was like everybody was all fired up. Our Sunday, we got wind of it here in the States. Mad panic. Russia told people to leave the 18 settlements in the Zaporizhzhia region. Okay. And got some quotes from the IAEA. And that's about it. Nothing. went radio silent. So, again, a short this week in prophecy, but I wanted to update you folks, mainly with what's going on in the Gaza Strip. And, Israel says they're prepared to fight this on multiple fronts. I suspect those are watching what's going on. And we'll see what happens. We do have Pentecost, Shavuot, Feast of Weeks coming up here in about 2.5, 3 weeks or so. So something tends to typically happen in and around God's appointed feasts, big ticket, geopolitical, economic. Most of the economic stuff historically has been in the fall, but things happen in and around God's appointed holidays, the 7 of them. So anyway, if you're interested in this, please feel free, or if you know others who would be interested in this, please share this with them, PaulthePoke.com. If you want to become a subscriber to the blog, type in your email address here in the far right column, hit subscribe. We'll notify you every time we put something out. Some people pick this up on YouTube, some people at ValorTube. Of course, the website, Facebook, Trey Smith's God in a Nutshell homepage on Facebook. So lots of places to pick it up. Appreciate you guys following along. Hope you have a great evening. Later. Bye.